expecting if I would have said, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, no, I'm not sorry. Yeah, I went over and me and John tore the damn house down for the biggest money gate in the biggest arena in the world.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. And once you're done, leave a comment down below and I just might end up responding. Vince McMahon has, issues. A good few of those issues, many of which are internal, but he's not just an asshole to himself, he's also got problems with other people as well. Lots of people, and in particular, any and every single person who doesn't agree with his every point of view. I'm D-Wicket, and for one reason or another, these are 10 wrestlers who are no longer allowed in the company. Number 10, Hulk Hogan. Wait, what? Number 10, Alberto Del Rio. I could never roll that R. People were pretty surprised at Hell in a Cell 2015 when ADR popped up on our screens and challenged John Cena for his United States Championship. Oh, and very disappointed since the US Open Challenge died that night, but I digress. Del Rio had been fired before for defending himself against a racist. Nice.
I stand up for myself against fucking... Right. Who tried to make a racist joke against Mexicans.
After a lackluster feud with Kalisto and a stretch alongside the League of Nations, Mr. Pero, still can't roll him, made his way out the company, and wow, oh wow, had he been vocal. It's died down over the years, but man, he was really throwing that shade, you guys. He was really throwing it. Years before it had become almost normal for that behavior to take place. Del Rio was trashing the company and its admittedly weak creative. Then he married Paige. Then Paige's nudes leaked, and then she got a movie announced, and then the movie came. I'm sorry, that was just, it was all so bizarre that I kind of forgot what we were talking about. Oh yeah, he really went into WWE, so don't expect his return anytime soon.
That guy made that comment, that joke, and I got up and say, okay, say that again. Straight to my face.
Number 9, ZZ. Does anyone remember this guy too? I, for some ungod known reason, actually watched the 2015 Tough Enough reboot, which, fun fact, it was the starting grounds for Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, and get this, the goddamn Velveteen Dream, who was eliminated 5 episodes in because the fans were given creative control over voting, and wow, this proves the fans cannot do anything. Instead of WWE's current best character making it to the Final Four, you know who did? This fat bastard named ZZ, who had all the heart in all the wrong places. He was just lovable enough to only get voted off by the very end, but nowhere near motivated enough to lose the weight required to wrestle professionally, to do the training actively. He was getting yelled at by Booker viciously every single week. Vince was disgusted by ZZ's existence, quite frankly, and how close he came to a guaranteed year contract, which was the prize of Tough Enough. And he decided ZZ would never wrestle, and the fans would never decide anything ever again, hence the current ratings.
Here we go!
Drop down, ZZ!
ZZ, let's go!
I'm gonna face this way now.
No, I want you to just keep dropping down like you're doing! I told you!
Number 8, Colt Cabana. Many forget the indie darling, former CM Punk best friend, didn't just make a cameo appearance during the pipe bomb, but he did actually wrestle for WWE once upon a time under the name Scotty Goldman, and that should explain everything about his run with the company.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Scotty Goldman.
All intensity, straight out adrenaline.
It wasn't his fault that he was shite and quickly exited from the company, but they just didn't know what to do with the guy. But it is what it is. That's not why he's here. No, instead, the Art of Wrestling podcast, hosted by the name holds that claim, as that's the place Punk decided to vent out all of his frustrations against the WWE. This one's pretty simple. Cabana provided a platform for someone to diss WWE, and that platform grew into a goddamn plateau with a sea of people beneath now suddenly pissed off at Vince McMahon. I think that metaphor made sense, but probably not.
The great Carly says, I do not want to take on someone as talented and good-looking and smart as Scotty Goldman.
Guy's a comedian, huh?
Number 7, New Jack. Oh my god. I mean, he's New Jack. He once took a steel chair to another wrestler's head so hard that he cracked his skull. He once took a fork to a 17-year-old's head. He once tried to throw Vic Grimes to his death, and then he also tried murdering a nearly 70-year-old man named Gypsy Joe with a baseball bat. Book him for the Hall of Fame, Vince. Show some balls.
He asked me, he came out of jail. He said, if you would train me, I'll drop the charges. I said, it's done.
Number 6, Mr. Kennedy, or as he's also known, Mr. Anderson. The former WWE disgruntled found himself out of a job after Randy Orton decided he wasn't going to play ball with botches after Ken Kennedy dropped him straight onto his neck. Damn, between Kennedy and Kofi, 2009 really wasn't a good year for wrestlers, starting with Kay, who injured Randy Orton. Making his way to TNA, Kennedy thought it would be a good idea to throw some verbal barbs towards WWE, Vince McMahon, and especially Triple H, who apparently had a pretty big role in complying with Orton's original request, which left him out of a job.
Got inside the boss's ear and said, "Hey, I think Kenny might be a little too funny."
Number 5, Gail Kim. Not like she'd ever want to step back into the company who wasted so many years of her potentially better life elsewhere, but yeah, Gail Kim kind of isn't allowed in WWE anymore. She walked out before CM Punk made it cool, back when WWE was 100% still the king of the mountain. And if it's not obvious by the pronoun, she was a woman. I know that shouldn't be a big deal, but it really kind of is, because this was the first time anyone truly showed that they didn't give a damn and would make it elsewhere, and then Kim went to let it fire under TNA's Knockout division, the only good women's division in America at the time, while WWE's Divas continued to put on garbage matches for another half-decade or so. For breaking down barriers, WWE ironically put up a wall of their own, blocking her not only from a return, but especially their Hall of Fame, of which she belongs to TNA's now.
An elimination. Yeah, that was Melina who was eliminated, and I believe another elimination as well. Gail Kim, I think.
Number 4, Jon Moxley. Dude, some of these are just funny. Like, yeah, this one needs an explanation. That Talk is Jericho podcast, it has the answer to every possible question you could have, and at least another hour's worth of just beautiful content. So just do yourself a favor and go find it. But, you know, after this video, and at least 3.5 more of ours, obviously.
Do you understand me? I want in the G1. Are you down again? Get up.
Number 3, Mr. Christopher Jericho. This one should have been obvious to anyone paying attention, as Colt Cabana was banned for giving a former disgruntled superstar a platform, and Jericho did essentially the same thing as the person he gave a platform to. That's a double grand slam right the fuck out of WWE's park. Goodbye forever, friend. Yeah, Jericho may have jeopardized his otherwise obvious headline Hall of Fame worthy induction, but I think changing the entire world of pro wrestling is kind of worth it in a trade. While if that will happen or not is still up in the air, it certainly looks promising, and as long as Jericho's wrestling for AEW, verbally smacking their competition and telling people to go fuck your ass on Twitter, I'm not kidding, he's probably not meeting up with Vince anytime soon.
Expecting, if I would have said, "Oh, I'm so sorry," like, no, I'm not sorry. Yeah, I went over, and me and John tore the damn house down for the biggest money gate in the biggest arena in the world.
Number 2, Nails. I mean, the dude once tried to kill Vince McMahon. Well, maybe not, but after an incident involving pay, I believe, the former WWF superstar requested to speak privately with the chairman, and almost instantly upon hitting the door, went for the boss. And by went for the boss, I am not talking verbal smackdown. The dude may be the only person in recorded history that isn't named Bret Hart to straight up attack Vince McMahon that I can think of off the top of my head, at least. And while that's ballsy and kind of respectable in a way, it's pretty much a death sentence to anyone who, you know, wants to work for Vince McMahon.
It wasn't just like a, you know, like this kind of thing. It was like, he was going for it. Yeah.
And number 1, I mean, to try taking a guess. It's CM Punk, the lone king sitting at the top of the mountain now that racist Hogan's found his way back to racist WWE. CM Punk truly is one of a kind, if for no other reason that he's the only one singular person WWE wants zero association with, but 100% would. That's right, CM Punk tops this list because he's probably the only person in history, like present, past, and future, who isn't allowed to be mentioned on TV, but WWE would 100% absolutely rehire him at the drop of a hat if he complied. It may seem like the exact opposite thing WWE would want to do, but if Saudi Arabia has proved anything, it's that money matters like nothing else, and CM Punk would still legitimately be a draw for WWE, now more than probably ever. So in a landscape where their ratings couldn't be lower, the door's never been wider open for the superstar WWE refuses to acknowledge existed. What a sentence.
This isn't sour grapes, but the fact that Dwayne is in the main event of WrestleMania next year and I'm not makes me sick.
And those are 10 wrestlers who are banned from the WWE. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below. After liking the video, subscribe to the channel, and notifications-ing the bell.